Brenda Besteiro from Take 3 Talent, and this is the Cambridge Video Audition. Right, but I don't want to rush into a decision.
Of course, it's important to take your time on financial decisions, so what I'd like to suggest is that I ask a few questions to help us both figure out if and how we might help you with some of your financial goals. We should have a pretty good idea after about 15 minutes. Does that approach and time frame work for you, Mrs. Santos?
Please, call me Maria. And yes, that sounds good, but I do have to pick up the kids in a while.
Okay, and to make sure I capture all the information correctly, would you mind if I take notes while we're talking?
No problem.
Thank you. Let's start with your CD. The current value is $15,000, is that right?
Yes, that's right.
And if you don't mind me asking, why are you considering cashing out the CD instead of, say, renewing it?
We need the cash. Seems like more and more expenses pop up as our kids get older. And our income isn't exactly reliable, so I worry about keeping too much money tied up. It's clear that Melissa's going to need braces, and Joshua is already costing us a fortune in hockey equipment.
I know what you mean. When our boys were that age, our basement looked like a sports store. It sounds like unexpected expenses, and the fact that your income isn't as predictable as you'd like is a real concern. Tell me more about that.
Actually, my income as a teacher is stable. It's just that it's not enough, especially since my work only covers 9 months of the year. My husband started a catering business a few years ago, and more recently, a staffing business. I help by handling the finances. Both businesses are doing well, but when you have your own business, you can't rely on a steady paycheck.
That's true, and it's good news that things are going well with businesses. Does that combined income help meet most of your household expenses?
Why do you need that information?
Oh, of course. Let me explain the purpose of these kinds of questions. The information we gather from your answers will help us create a solution that best meets your specific needs. And of course, please be assured all of this information will be kept confidential.
Okay. Well, the combined total is in the neighborhood of 100 to 110,000. And it covers most of our expenses, but not all.
Well, as you said, lots of the expenses keep popping up. What are some of the expenses that concern you most?
Where do I begin? We bought a fixer-upper that never seems to get completely fixed up. Just found out that the roof needs to be replaced. Some months I'm not sure how we're going to pay for the mortgage since we're constantly pouring in money to keep the house from falling down around us.
That ties into your need for ready access to cash to both handle the regular monthly payments and some of the unexpected expenses that have popped up recently.
Right, exactly. I hate not earning whatever interest we might on a CD, but we need that cash.
I understand. Managing finances isn't easy. What about some of your long-term needs or goals?
Long-term? Let me think. Well, certainly we need to do more planning for retirement, but as an educator, I absolutely hate the thought of not being able to afford to send our kids to college, especially the way tuition is spiraling out of control. That really bothers me.
I know what you mean. I'm in the middle of that right now, and from everything I've read, tuition fees aren't likely to decrease. Have you started any sort of college planning?
Not yet. We're planning on doing that after we get a better handle on some of our other major expenses.
I understand. Other than your mortgage, do you have any other major debt?
No. Actually, yes. We've got several different, too many in my opinion, credit cards.
We all seem to have a lot of credit cards these days. Are yours for personal or business use?
Both, unfortunately. If we're maxed out on one of the business cards, for example, and my husband needs to buy supplies and food for a major event, he'll use one of the personal cards. It gets a bit complicated, and I worry that we're not doing a good job of keeping the business and personal expenses separate, as we should.